Today, I'm going to be diving into how not knowing your numbers could be the thing that breaks your business. Hey love, you're listening to the Mums and Biz Show and I'm Victoria. Every week I'll bring you the unvarnished version of what it means to be a mum running a brilliant business, what you need to be doing to get it to where you want it to be, and a healthy dose of how to get the heck out of your own way. Let's dive in. And hey there, I'm Nick Tuerick and you are watching the Mums and Biz Show. All right, let's talk money. I want to start with a little bit of an honesty moment here. Are you a numbers girl? You don't need to answer that out loud, although some of you are going to be so strong in your response that you can't help yourself from yelling a hell no out loud. So tell me, do you let yourself get away with thinking that getting into the numbers of your business is a bit icky or uncomfortable, or even worse, something that you don't have time to keep on top of? Now, that's an inverted commas statement there, ladies, because it is so, so important. And we're going to dive into all of that murky goodness of money today. For some reason, money has become a taboo subject. It's not something that we like to talk about at all. And crazy though that sounds, something about it not being okay to aim for. It's this societal kind of thing that's going on. And it's not only not okay to talk about money, but when you've got a really big money goal, you actually feel a little bit ashamed and a little bit guilty and not like you can talk about it at all. And I recently had this experience at a networking meeting that we were at. And the question was, what's your financial goal for the year? Give me your numbers. Tell me what that looks like as a monthly figure. And even for me, that felt uncomfortable in a room full of women who were like-minded. And that's what was my inspiration for the topic for today's show, actually, because I thought, that's insane. We are all there to build our businesses. We are all there to up-level. We are all there to, go after these amazing goals that we've got, all for really, really strong, impactful purposes. And yet, even in that forum, you could feel the discomfort in having that discussion. So let's think about this a different way. I really want you to try and be a bit self-reflective today, and I'm going to tell some stories to help hopefully bring that out. So do you feel guilty when you set yourself a big financial goal? Do you struggle to assign a reason for that money that isn't functional? So I'm not talking about a bill or something for the kids or something for the house or a family holiday or any of that kind of good stuff. When was the last time that you allowed yourself to do something just for you? For that to be the reason that you wanted to hit that bigger financial number in your business. Because I find that with my clients and the people that I speak to, they find it really hard to set themselves a really big goal in their business and then say, well, that's because I want to go on a shopping spree, or I want a new closet, or I really want that new coat, something that feels indulgent. It's like it's a guilty pleasure, and it's not okay to reward yourself for the hard work that you put forward. I think this is all tied up into money mindset. And it is absolutely something that I have been super guilty with. And I know firsthand how much this holds you back in your business growth. In fact, your relationship with money is so tied into your feelings of self-worth and identity, and it is the single biggest mindset factor that gets in your way. And I know that as a fact. And there aren't too many things that are factual in this world. Ironically, it's also the one that we are least likely to explore and talk about. So let's do that today. I know that when I was in my corporate role, that was when I started avoiding money. So a long time ago, years ago, and I became almost passive-aggressive with it, with money, as like if money was an entity or an energy or something like that. That was how I felt about it. And I decided that I was not an admin-oriented person. Now, from a personality perspective, that was actually true. I'm a big picture thinker. I'm really great at strategy. I'm intuitive, which makes me a good coach. And I'm very detailed in terms of planning to get something done right. But little details like doing money things and administrative details, like the crap out of it. In fact, though, I remember actually saying the words many times, I'm ashamed to say, I don't do admin details in my life. And I used to say it almost with pride. I would be like, no, I don't do admin details in my life. That's not how I roll. And I would let Jeff look after the money, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But seriously, are you kidding me? I know that the detail-oriented amongst you are shaking your heads at me right now, and I am completely okay with that because I have moved on and made peace with how I felt about it back then, because I know that how I was reacting to money was about more than just that surface, I don't do admin details kind of statement. Because what that was really saying is that I didn't value my finances. I didn't put enough weight on my financial future to make the time to take it seriously. Ouch. I left it all to Jeff, who was absolutely my safety blanket because he is great at finances. And don't get me wrong, we were doing really well in our lives, but not without the stress associated with that six-figure corporate life and all the trappings that you tend to collect along with it, especially when you're not paying attention to the details. So let's fast forward to when I started Nick T Coaching. In fact, actually a little bit before that, I had a business partner who was also fantastic with money and knowing where things were going. So again, I had a safety net, which meant that I didn't have to get to know my money. I didn't have to repair my relationship with money. I didn't have to delve into why I felt the way I felt about it and why I was avoiding it. But in this business now, it's just me. I was the one who was responsible, and I was the one who needed to be across the details. And that has been just a massive adjustment for me. Want to know what, though? When I started to take it seriously and actually get a budget and monitor the investment decisions that I was making in terms of the return that we could expect on it, or why I was making the investment in the first place. Was it a solid strategic investment, or was it a reactive, fear-filled investment? It's not really an investment if it's a fear-filled decision or something that you're doing in response to fear. But I was actually starting to explore that and understand that a little bit and track my cash flow. For goodness sake, this is what enabled me to level up. This is why I've gotten to where I've gotten as quickly as I have. Because when we talk about stepping up to CEO in your business, this is the kind of stuff that we're talking about. Actually running your business like a business. So let's take a pause for a second here. I have done a bit more storytelling than usual today, like I said I was going to, but that is only because I know that we are usually in so much denial that when someone just lists out stuff, like lists out the dot points, are you this person? Can you relate to this? It's really, really easy to decide that you're not in that list or that doesn't apply to you. And I don't want you to do that today. And this is so important that I want you to be sitting back and I want you to be feeling uncomfortable, love. Really, because when you're feeling uncomfortable, and I don't know if you've noticed this about yourself, but certainly this is the case for me. When I'm feeling a bit squirmy and my stomach's starting to I don't know how I feel about that, that usually means it's a message that I need to hear. So if that is you, I hope you stick with me. It's okay. Everybody has some kind of skeletons in their money relationship closet. And I genuinely mean absolutely everybody, even you. Yep. I see you, the lovely lady sitting there feeling smug because you are all over it and you know where all your money is going. We can all do with or benefit from leveling up in some way in this area. And your business will only respond in kind when you do that. So, what is the impact of not knowing the numbers in your business? For a start, 50% of the women that I talk to, in fact, that's an old statistic, it might even be more, don't even realize that they're not profitable, or they aren't paying themselves, or they aren't valuing their time adequately, or they're leaking money all over the shop. Your business speaks to you through its numbers. That is its language. That's how your business is able to communicate. The results that you achieve are a language of learning. And how well did things work? Well, you can tell that by looking at your numbers. What profit did you get? How can you tweak it next time? Where are your customers coming from? What is each customer worth to you? What does each customer cost you to acquire? You can start to see how knowing the answers to these questions are really, really important. You might have a really high customer lifetime value because they tend to stick with you, but it costs you a fortune to acquire them. So that's affecting your profit. There are all these different numbers that are important to know in your business and start to calculate and be able to understand and interpret. Okay? And when you know the answers to these questions, they're so incredibly empowering to you to be able to move forward in an informed way. Because then you have all the information that you need at your fingertips to tweak your actions to get a better or a different result. And isn't that exciting? Now I think that's exciting. Back when I didn't know what my numbers were telling me, it was absolutely terrifying. So I hear you. I know that it can leave you quaking in your boots, thinking about actually facing up to the financial position of your business. But it's okay, because it's just your point in time now, okay? And you can always take a different action to shift that and to move it forward and to get out of debt or to invest in a different way or to grow your revenue, because all of a sudden you know what's important for you to shift to get a better or a different result. I completely understand that feeling. That is how I felt when I really forced myself to get serious about tracking money in my business. Guys, it was just last year that I was tackling these gremlins again as well. It can sneak up on you at any stage in your business. It's something to be mindful about, to keep returning to. Maybe set yourself a date that you don't miss. Think about, I don't know, it might be your hair appointment. It might be something to do with your children. It might be date night with your husband. There is something in your life that you don't miss come hell or high water. Make your date life with your money in your business exactly the same. Maybe it's monthly. And once a month, without fail, you say no to everything else and you sit down and you have this conversation with your business and you start to hear what it's trying to tell you about the last month. Make it a priority. So what happens then when you do that, when you go through everything, the incomings, the outgoings? It just means that you now know what you need to change and where. Because now you can start making decisions like the CEO that your business needs you to be. Now, if you were watching a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about this. We were talking about stepping up to be the CEO that your future business needs you to be now. This is one of the quickest ways that you can start to step up as a CEO in your business. Good, bad, or otherwise, a great CEO makes decisions and learns from them. Remember last week? Indecisiveness? That is what keeps you stuck and without a focus. Getting in touch with the money message that your business is trying to give you is one of the ways for you to start being decisive and get a focus, because you're listening to what your business is trying to tell you and all of a sudden you know how to move forward. Imagine what could happen if you stopped being stuck about your finances and started making a plan to move forward deliberately and in alignment with where you're at now and where you plan to go. I heard Catherine Zenkina describe it as a money GPS, and I absolutely love that. A GPS only works if it knows where you are right now, as well as where you want to go. So my challenge for you this week, my love, is to pull on your big girl undies and take a good hard look at what your business is trying to tell you about where you are and what needs to change. Then you can set your GPS for where you want to be. That's your dream life, my friend. You know, those goals that you've set for this year in your business, the things that you spend so much time looking at, because ideal life and your dream business and your goals are really important. You need to know those things to be able to move forward. But you also need to know where you are right now so that you can focus in the right areas to get there. And that's a wrap for today's episode. If you enjoy listening to the Mums in Biz show, I would love for you to leave us a review on iTunes and be sure to post a snap of you enjoying the show on Instagram and tag me at nicole.tuerick. You can also join in the conversation with me in the Mums in Biz tribe on Facebook. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of the Mums in Biz show.